It seems to me that getting a black belt is one of the few milestones for which your friends don't get to administer celebratory spankings. If you see a cherry cobbler, are you looking at a dessert or a virgin who makes shoes? Actually, I'm much less concerned with the cherry part and rather more disturbed by the cobbler. I mean, which came first, the shoemaker or the dessert? And why did the other one get named the same as the first? 'Cause shoes don't seem appetizing, and dessert doesn't make me think of footwear. So somewhere along the line there must have been either an association that made sense at the time, or a serious breakdown in communication. Which came first, the nudity taboo or protection from the elements? I mean, have you noticed that most human societies which come from the tropics or somewhere warm have fewer hang-ups on seeing the naked human body? Would humanity have collectively decided that nudity was somehow shameful if it hadn't been for the need for clothing? Or did clothing come about because of the decision that the human body was shameful? Suppose it's all about warmth originally. Do you think that's relative? I mean, suppose humanity discovers aliens from a planet where the lowest temperature is about as warm as a sunny day in Florida. If they came to Earth and felt that, would they go, ooh, too cold, and put on clothing, or would they still be fairly comfortable? Here's another weird question. The human body temperature is about 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit, yes? So how come when the air is that hot it feels entirely uncomfortable? Shouldn't it feel just right? I don't get this stuff, I really don't. None of it is intuitive. Seriously. You know you've seen a movie a few too many times when you realize that you have the director commentary memorized. Just saying. You know how some people dream in color, which I also do myself? Well, I think in rebuses. Who determines if someone is your friend, you or them? I mean, if you like someone a lot, but they think you're slime, they're not your friend, right? But you value their presence. You think of them as a friend. But if they like you a lot and you don't care for them, they consider you a friend. Who is whose friend? Does it have to be mutual? An argument could be made for any of these cases, really. Has anyone noticed that Guantanamo Bay can be easily contracted to Guano Bay? Fuck Gitmo. Guano Bay is much more clever, I say. I haven't found that listed as a nickname for the place anywhere online, but, well, I weep for the creativity skills of the U.S. military if nobody has called it that ever. Just once, for the sake of variety, I'd like to see someone pull a hat out of a rabbit. Or possibly pull a rabbi out of a hat. Why would anyone need to hold down the fort? I mean, is it in imminent danger of floating away or being blown off by the wind? What the hell is this fort made of? If nobody has made an Inspector Gadget porno, I am deeply disappointed in humanity. I'm probably not saying anything too terribly original, but why is there no light in the freezer? Most refrigerators have a light in the main compartment, but the freezer remains dark. Why the hell is that? It's weird. I'm sure there's a model of refrigerator that has a light in the freezer, but it's been my experience that, in general, most don't. If you throw a mirror at someone and it breaks on their head, which one of you gets the 7 years of bad luck? In the Hall of the Mountain King has always sounded to me like Mary Had a Little Lamb gone horribly, horribly evil. Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. Mary had a little lamb whose fleece was white as snow. And everywhere that Mary went, Mary went, Mary went. Everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go. Every da-da-dum-dum-dum, ba-da-ba-bum. The word napkin kind of weirds me out. Nap, kin, sleeping family? How does that equate to something with which you wipe your chin? And don't even get me started on pumpkin. I've never pumped my kin. When the Star-Spangled Banner finishes, do you hear a little voice in your head shout, "Play ball"? I've heard of people getting pneumonia, but can you get old-monia? And for that matter, shouldn't you be able to cure it with ammonia? If you ever get the chance, look up the origin of the word puck as it relates to the focal point of a hockey game. I'll give you a hint. It's a verb that got nouned. I got curious why in hell it's called that and looked it the hell up. Most sports are played with a ball. While it's true that a hockey puck is not shaped like a ball and therefore calling it one would be silly, I saw no reason why puck made any more sense. Until I looked the fucker up. Get curious, check it out. It's not all that interesting when you finally find out, but it's not exactly boring either. Here's one. Responding. Have you ever sponded? I've responded to someone. Does that mean they sponded to me first? Hell, I've even co-responded with someone. We're both responding to each other, but damn it, someone had to go first. Don't even get me started on Transponder, or hell, just plain ponder, which seems to have nothing at all to do with any of it. Why shoot? I mean, okay, as a substitute for shit, which it kind of sounds like, but what does it mean? I mean, shit I get. It's unpleasant, smells bad. You're expressing displeasure and likening it to excrement. But shoot? What are you saying? Are you executing the thing you don't like? Are you firing out of a cannon? What's it mean? In my entire life, I have never slept a wink. I always sleep with both eyes closed. Did you ever notice that if you smile at someone on the street, they usually smile back almost involuntarily? I know I do. I thought that was kind of cool until I got to wondering if smiles are maybe a limited form of mind control. So here's a question. When people make silly spelling errors, like mixing up your and your, are they actually thinking that when they speak? Are they, in their minds, actually thinking, I'll call you up on your phone later, when they say that to you? For that matter, how many of you are looking at that sentence and thinking, what in the hell's wrong with that? And while we're on the subject, I realize how it sounds, and therefore this mistake makes a perverse kind of sense, but damn it, people, learn the difference between lose and loose, would you please? 'Cause that one's getting way old. Seriously. Political correctness is an assault on our uncivil rights. You ever notice that no matter how much uncooked pasta you eat, you never get full? You could eat 3 packages of raw linguine and never feel full. But cook a half a bowl's worth of pasta and wolf it down, you'll finally feel like you've eaten something. What the hell's that about? The word up doesn't make a lot of sense sometimes. As a direction, okay, perfect sense, but used as a modifier to a statement, incomprehensible and, frankly, redundant. Consider I'm going to call you versus I'm going to call you up. Up is clearly unnecessary and doesn't describe anything, doesn't change the sentence in any way. It's the same for I'm going to eat you up, like a big bad wolf, or it's all used up, like a battery. Even things are looking up doesn't make a lot of sense unless you're already aware of the implicit assumption that up is better than down. An alien encountering English for the first time may well be confused by such a statement. I find myself wondering about expressions such as these quite often. The voices in my head don't talk to me. They sing. What would it be like if the stock exchange wasn't on Wall Street? What if it was on something like, oh, I don't know, Schmecker Drive? Could you imagine what that would be like? All those people talking about bailing out Schmecker Drive, that there was a surge or a drop on Schmecker Drive. I mean, Wall Street sounds mildly important, while Schmecker Drive just sounds goofy. But I'm fairly certain they weren't thinking of that when they put the stock exchange there. Just think about that for a minute. Can someone explain our use of the word why at the beginning of declarative statements? You know the sort I mean. Why, of course you can have another slice of pie. Why, I oughta punch you in the nose. Why, this looks like a job for Captain Chowderhead. And so on. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me when I think about what why means in all other contexts. Okay, so a wild goose chase, right? That's another one that doesn't make any sense at all. I mean, if you're going on a wild goose chase, you're chasing something that simply doesn't exist. At least that's how the expression is used these days. But there are definitely wild geese, and if you chased one, well, you just might catch it. Probably not. Better to shoot it than to chase it, but even so, the fucker exists. So an actual wild goose chase? Not as pointless as whatever the expression is directed at. I'm just saying,